What's happening, people? We're back here once again on CubCamTV for this another edition of CubReacts as we move to the final reaction of the evening. This one was meant to drop at 8:30. It was then removed from the GRM's running order, sorry, and then it's reappeared again at 9 o'clock just after I've made my dinner. My dinner's literally down there, so I'm gonna do this one, and then hopefully my dinner's not gone cold because I really want to get this one done. It's new Skepta alongside L3 and Michael Phantom, track entitled No Stress. Good to see Skepta back at it, back on GRM again as well, obviously repping for the UK. It's always good to see. So yeah, out to everyone who has joined the page this day, this day, out to everyone who's joined the page today. It's been really crazy to see how many people have been subscribing. We've gone up, I think it's 330 today so far, so massive thank you to each and every one of you who's been getting involved. If you aren't already subscribed, please do hit that subscription button and get involved with the channel. Turn the notifications on as well. There's loads of new content on the way. We've got interviews, we've got reaction videos, we've got loads of mixed content as well, just loads of general music content that's going to be going up on the page over the course of the next few weeks. So yeah, I'll tell everyone involved. If you haven't already as well, check me out on socials at KXVU on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and SoundCloud. And yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. Let's crack on. Sounds of Skepta, L3, Michael Phantom with No Stress, the second track today entitled No Stress. Very interesting. Let's go, people. Missed the premiere, I was making dinner. One thing I need to tell you all as well that I forgot to bring in on the intro, we will be pausing a lot. So if you're not keen on a lot of pauses, if you're not keen on a lot of breakdown, if you're not keen on basically quite a techie kind of look at things, then do feel free to watch a different reaction video. We do have to pause it quite regularly purely to get around copyright, and because of that I like to get very analytical as often as possible. So there's your warning. I don't want to see a comment section full of you pause too much because whatever. It's the only way I can get around the copyright stuff, so bear in mind there's going to be a lot of pauses.
I give you nightmares, wake up in some cold sweats. I just made 100 in my sleep, it's no stress.
Interesting from Skepta. Not the approach I was expecting at all. Actually, sounding quite similar to what we've heard of Michael Phantom so far. And I don't know if they've kind of come together with a similar kind of idea on this tune, but normally when we hear Skepta come out, he comes out kind of, not all guns blazing, but he's going quite aggressive. He's quite an aggressive performer in the way he raps and the way he puts his performance and flows down. However, on this, he's the opposite. He's very laid back. He's kind of almost like over-amplifying that kind of laid-back element, which is very interesting to kick it off. Instrumental sounding very spooky as well.
I don't see that girl no more, no, that's an old flex. Walk onto the plane, I'm trying to fuck a hostess. Keep some drillers round me, I ain't taking no checks.
Interesting, again, very not it's definitely not Americanized. It's very drill inspired. I mean, I wouldn't call this a typical drill instrumental. There's just a lot of 808 action going on. There's a lot of bass notation in the low end, really kind of ruffling the feathers of the rest of the tune. And Skepta's kind of riding it with a higher pitched vocal. I don't know if he's doing that specifically because there's so much low end going on, but it's an approach we haven't seen from Skepta before. At least I haven't, and maybe there's music of his that's out there that I haven't heard, but this is interesting.
Your blood clot, tell them pussy don't test. We gon' catch you slipping, get the drop like oh yes. Yeah. Pull up, blow the smoke until the
again, very, as I was saying, very like choppy, very skippy, not the kind of very rhythmic flow that we're used to from Skepta. He usually comes very much rhythm heavy. Obviously coming from the grime background that he's from, he's normally very much about tight rhythms and tight flows, whereas on this he's very much going more along a da 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 rather than a da 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 da, if that makes sense to people. I always do that noise, I don't know why.
No smoke left.
She said she wanna come get this dick, so I told her come and then bitch. A man check on myself.
I don't know why that hook's quite funny to me. I told you wanna come get this dick, like it's cool though, it's different, and I think this is what this whole tune is kind of amplifying, the idea of how to stand out, I feel, in the UK right now, you do need to be different, and I think this is a very interesting approach. I like the fact this hook is very harmonised as well, following the choppiness of the intro. I feel that's needed.
I'm big man thing, so I taught him a lesson. If you ever see me got to rise this toy, no, I'm not pretending. AR-15s in the back of the car.
This isn't even like auto-tuned either. This is like almost like vocoder. It's a different type of vocal effect, which doesn't, it's not like your standard thing. It's quite weird hearing this over this type of instrumental.
Fully loaded. Scope with the team. Got him down, popping down, rapping in sheets. How did she cannot believe? Shut down, fly out, bring back the peace. Then we did a drive-by.
Oof, this sounds cold. I'm loving this verse. This is L3. Something very, again, that so far the tune has morphed since it's begun. It started off very choppy, very spooky, and then it's moved into a much more kind of melodic, kind of not auto-tuned, very vocoded sounding verse from L3. There's a lot of movement going on. It's going to be interesting to hear what happens when Michael Phantom gets involved.
Tried you over your team, but see where them shots start fly by, you couldn't be seen.
I'll give you nightmares, wake up in some cold sweats.
And then back to that kind of choppy Skepta flow. This is really unusual, man. This has kind of caught me a little bit off guard. I like it, don't get me wrong. It's just my brain's trying to compute, like, this doesn't sound like Skepta to me, you know? Note on the video as well, very, very interesting how they've done it. They've gone for the kind of very low budget look. They've tried to make it look like it's recorded on like an old school phone or whatever. And obviously with the night vision on as well. It's an interesting kind of visual aesthetic alongside the kind of the unusualness of the tune.
I just made 100 in my sleep, it's no stress. I don't see that girl no more, now that's an old flex. Walk onto the plane, I'm trying to fuck a hostess.
And again, the longer the tune goes on, the more it becomes more sort of normalized. Okay, I get it now. It just takes you a little while to kind of get into this zone with Skepta. I don't know if this verse to me sounds a bit tighter than the first time around. I don't know if that's been done on purpose or that's just me getting used to his vocals. But I feel when we get to this point in the track, it sounds more like normalized. I'm expecting it, I feel.
Keep some drillers round me, I ain't taking no checks. Kill your blood clot, tell a pussy don't test.
That classic gunshot effect on the video as well. I remember when Channel U was popping, they used to pop up so much, man.
Get the drop like, oh yes, yeah. Pull up, blow the smoke until there ain't no smoke left. I got too many brothers, I might pull up in a Vito. If I'm in
again, it is a little bit unusual though, isn't it? Hearing Skepta do these very kind of stretched out flows, almost making himself sound a little bit out of time on purpose, I suppose. And I don't know if it seems like that's a thing in UK rap music at the minute, to not be tight, to be very kind of stuttered and kind of choppy. And I don't know if that's the thing that people are doing on purpose, but it feels like Skepta normally is very rhythmic, as I said before, and I'm not meaning to repeat myself, but I feel he's normally very rhythmic in his approach. And this is a different side of Skepta I haven't heard before.
The hood, then I'm with Causa, I'm with Tico. I was out in Cuba speaking Spanish, un poquito. Casablanca fit, these ladies call me suavecito.
And again, the bar structure he's using, like his references, the kind of length of the bar, even the sort of syllabic structure, the construction of the bars is very similar to how he would construct grime bars. But I think because of that, that's why it sounds a little bit stuttered, maybe.
I love marijuana, in a week I smoke a kilo. With my model ting, she's sniffing one perico. I'm that kind of criminal.
But you see what I mean? Very classic Skepta, like jumping into different languages, like quotations. Again, the rhyming patterns he's using are very classic Skepta. Interesting.
To my P.O. This them rude boy rhythms need to wheel it, need a reload.
Oh yes, she the hostess with the most big back one compo, cut the long dress shorts.
Let's go, Michael Phantom, let's go. I haven't heard much from Michael Phantom, to be honest with you, but the stuff I have heard, I have really enjoyed. He's someone who is very, very different and catchy. That's what he's got about him. He's got that catchy nature.
Get on, looking fine like a hot mess. Don't test me on none of my brothers. Hot plate and a knife slash like butter. Catch me slipping, might draw my cutter. That girl that can never be my lover, never meet my mother. Tippy toe.
Again, if anything, Michael Phantom is the skippiest out of anyone on this, and when I go into this, I'd go, he's probably going to be the most kind of, not stuttered, but he's going to be the most unusual flow-wise, whereas on this, he sounds like he's doing the kind of grimiest flow out of all of them, which is very interesting.
She giving me that litty dome, been doing this since it's Motorola, remember them flippy phones, I'm on about that quickie.
I do. I loved my old Motorola phone. Can't lie to you.
Speak Spanish, un poquito. Smoking cigars and I'm on the beach and sipping a mojito. Them men are sleeping.
I'll give you nightmares, wake up in some cold sweats.
Unusual transition as well. It almost sounded like on that verse that Phantom almost like faded out a little bit, and then there's just this kind of atmospheric level. I feel this whole tune kind of has a bit of a highbrow kind of weird for the point of it to an extent. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting off it. It's a bit weird, probably the wrong word. Experimental and unusual is probably the best way to describe it. It's a very interesting listen.
I just made 100 in my sleep, it's no stress. I don't see that girl no more, now that's an old flex.
But you see what I mean about the tonality of what he does, the tone his vocal seems to sit sit at reminds me of hearing Michael Phantom on Bet. That's what it sounds like to me. So this is really interesting.
Walk onto the plane, I'm trying to fuck a hostess. Keep some drillers round me, I ain't taking no checks. Kill your blood clot, tell them pussy don't test.
I like that effect as well, the old school red zoom, the red lock-in. I like that. The video is quite cool, man. It's mainly shot. I would presume this was shot in one night, and I presume this has been done purposely to look low budget. We've heard obviously Skepta's got the reputation to kind of make things look old school on purpose. Obviously, the was it the shutdown video? No, so that's not me video. Is obviously it won like awards and stuff, and it cost him like less than £200 or something crazy like that. So this isn't something new from Skepta to take this approach video-wise.
We gon' catch you slipping, get the drop like oh yes. Yeah. Pull up, blow the smoke until there ain't no smoke left.
Man. Something interesting about Skepta as well that I'm really liking is the fact he's very much going back into UK music. You know, I feel there was a point he was very much focusing on sort of big international collaborations and things along those lines, whereas now he's very much linking up with UK heads. Obviously, we've seen these two get involved on this one, L3 and Michael Phantom, and then obviously we saw him do the tune with I think it was D-Power, D-Power Diesel, and that was a big tune on GRM as well. So it feels like he's almost coming back to the kind of roots of what he does, which I really like. And I think we're just going to get synthy stuff for the rest of this, by the sounds of things anyway. I think it's just synthesizers. Again, many pauses, be aware. There we go, lovely. And I'm pretty sure that's a video preset you can find on YouTube. So there we go. Are there any end credits on this, or is it just extra noise at the end? No end credits. There we go. Out to everyone who has enjoyed this one. An unusual return from Skepta, I feel. My favourite verse on this was actually L3's. I think he did the most interesting approach. That first line did catch me, though. It was just quite funny the way the flow pattern he came with. It caught me a little bit off guard. But overall, I think the best way to describe this one is interesting. It's definitely not bad. It's definitely not my favourite thing I've heard from any of them, but I just feel the overall approach they've come with is something that is very kind of out there, you know. It's very different, and I think Skepta is kind of known at this point to be a little bit experimental with the kind of styles of stuff he's doing. Very drippy throughout the whole thing. There's a lot of swagger going on. A lot of the conversation they're discussing as well is about being essentially ballers, which is cool, man. It's an interesting approach. But there we go. That's been my reaction video to this one. I hope you have enjoyed. Please let us know down below if you agree or disagree with the breakdown, and if there's a Skepta tune where he does exactly this that I've missed, because I'm sure there will be now I've said I haven't heard it, and I can't wait to hear it from you guys. But make sure you are subscribing as well if you have enjoyed this breakdown. Hit that notification button as well, throw a like on the video, and let us know how you're feeling in the comment section. You can also follow me on socials at CubKXVU on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and SoundCloud. And as well as that, you can catch me on Breakfast with Kovu over on Trickstar Radio. Go and download the app, or if you're in the Brighton area, literally grab the DAB on your radio. You'll be able to lock in. I'm live from 7 till 10 Monday to Friday. Tomorrow is Fresh Friday, so it's going to be a wicked show breaking down all these new releases in detail and review with Duke Sky. So it should be good. And out to everyone who has enjoyed this video, and we shall see you soon. Peace.